Welcome. So you're in the course, welcome. Now, what are some things that you need to know to be able to be successful in this course? Well, this course is solving quadratics algebraically, and we're going to be using a lot of factoring. So, in each one of these courses, and for all these, you're going to have to know how to factor, and hopefully that's a prerequisite that you have coming into this course. Otherwise, I have a course on factoring using these different methods. But you're going to want to make sure you at least have an idea of factoring in general, and especially, how to factor out a GCF out of an expression, how to factor when a equals 1 for a quadratic, when a does not equal 1 for a quadratic, and then how to apply special factoring techniques such as the difference of two squares and a perfect square trinomial. Then for these, we're going to have to get into some different things you're going to need to know. Factoring is probably, I would say, like the core of what we're going to be doing, but we do get over some other processes, and even with factoring, there's some things we need to make sure we understand. A couple things is the zero product property, which I have a video describing what the zero product property is. But that's something very important that's helpful, because when we can't use inverse operations like linear equations, we have to go and apply the zero product property. So it's very, very important in this course. However, inverse operations are important as well. And inverse operations are going to be very helpful when we're using the square root property, which is exactly that, applying inverse operations with the square root. However, it doesn't apply to all quadratics. It only is going to apply to a certain amount of quadratic equations that we can use that for. So you at least understanding what inverse operations are, the inverse operation of addition will be subtraction, and then how we're going to apply that with quadratics. And really the last thing that I would say is factoring out the other big thing would be factoring out a GCF. And that's just in general. This is actually in refers to how we're going to solve by factoring on GCF, and that's going to be a special type of quadratic. But when you're just looking at a problem, it doesn't really matter how we're going to solve it. Being able to understand what the GCF is and knowing that you have to factor it out, that's going to become very, very important in this course. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is at least your understanding of what you're going to need to know to be able to solve quadratics. Thanks.